Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diyashini if you're new here, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing a little different kind of video where I'm going to do a little book review. So if you like reading books, or if you want to know more about the books that I'm going to talk about, so you can subscribe to my channel and follow along with me for the rest of the video. So I am not like an avid reader at all. I read like one book a month, and that is also saying something. Sometimes I don't even read that much, but I'm going to talk about some more recent reads, especially this year and last year. Not going to talk about all the books that I read, only going to talk about more fictional books in this series, in this video. So let's get along with what all I have read, and I'll talk more about each book and what I review, what I'll give them like a out of 5 rating. I was in this kind of zone where I was reading a lot of non-fiction books, like mostly self-help or psychological books, but then I always read romance, but then I started reading fictional books again, and these are my two sections that I've made. These are primarily fictional and romance, and these are like just fictional and non-romantic books. So let's go start with this section, because as you can see, these are more number of books. Starting with a few last year reads, I started reading this book last year, I think around January. It's called The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. It's like a very sci-fi kind of setting. This story is like there's some post-war kind of situation, and it's ways into the future or something like that. And here the women are being used as handmaids for these upperclassmen or something like that. And let's say there's this man who is like very rich, and their wives are like above 50 or 60 who can't have children anymore. They take these handmaids who are in their childbearing age, and just they're like a baby producing machine kind of thing for them. And if you give birth to a girl, it's a whole thing. If you give birth to a quote unquote like a abnormal child, or child who is not perfect, then also the child gets killed. And you also the handmaids also gets killed if they cross that childbearing age and are not able to produce a proper heir. So it follows the story of this one particular handmaid, and how she it talks about her previous life, and everything was fine, everything was normal. She had her husband, she had a child, and then everything started to change, and her husband got killed. She doesn't know where her daughter is anymore, and she becomes a handmaid to this upperclassman, and follows along this scientific fictional book. It's a little bit of a slower read, I would say. It's not like very gripping from the very beginning. Like I think the first this much is not very gripping, and then maybe towards the end it becomes a little bit more gripping, and you get more into the story. Out of 5, I'll give this book like a 4 out of 5, I would say. Just for the story, if it's for the fact that how much I read, it will probably be a 3. But then based on the story, I'll give this a 4. Also, The Handmaid's Tale has like a series in Amazon Prime, so if you don't like to read books, you can watch that series. I don't know how good it is. I have not watched it. I've only read the book. The second book I read last year was this book called The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak, and it was quite like a buzz word around this book. Like everyone was reading this book. Most of my books, you will see, it's like because it was famous at the time, so I bought it. I like to follow trends. So yeah, this book, it's about this guy who meets the poet Rumi, and they have this beautiful friendship, because of which Rumi writes all his poems. So it's about kind of like that. It follows on the story of Rumi and that person both, and like it's a very sweet book. But yeah, I think there is a lot to learn from this book, because the 40 rules that are stated all throughout the book, you get a lesson from this book. But then yeah, again, it was a little slower read for me, I would say. Not as slow as The Handmaid's Tale, but yeah, a little bit slower. But I still like this book a lot. It won't be like a reread for me, but yeah, you can check this book out, because it does speak about a lot of lessons, and you will get to learn a lot from this book. So yeah, I think I'll give this book like a 3.5 out of 5, because not much a lot of story is there. Like, it's not a very gripping story, it's just like more of a morality kind of thing, so you get to learn a lot of things. So yeah, it's like a, I would say, a 3.5 to 3.8. Last year that absolutely broke me and are my absolute favorite are these two Khalid Hosseini book, the Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns. I read the Kite Runner first, and I think this is my most favorite book of all the books that I've ever read. I will never read it again, because it's just too heartbreaking book. But yeah, it follows along Afghanistan around 1975, and it's about these two guys, two children, 12-year-old children, that the servant father and the servant sons lives, and the two sons become very good friends. They grow up together, they are like absolute brothers. But then obviously there's this caste gap between them, because obviously the servant is from a lower caste, so people really make fun of the main character to being hanging out with that servant boy. And it follows along with that the main character's story, the Amir, and the lower class friend Hassan. Like, a lot of things happen. I don't want to give you spoilers about this book, because if you read this book, it will be so amazing, because the story is absolutely amazing. I liked it from the very get-go. It wasn't like I had to read at least the first 50 pages to like the story. I liked it from literally the first chapter. I was completely hooked on this book. I think it is fictional, but the writer himself is based off of Afghanistan, who moved to America, and the main character also does amazing. It's like 100 out of 5, I would say. It was so good, you will cry. The book doesn't have a per se sad ending. It's actually quite better ending than I expected from this book, because I cried till like the last page, and then the last chapter was like somewhat like on a good note, I would say. The second book I read is called A Thousand Splendid Suns. It's also based in Kabul, and it's the story of two women. One is someone who has had a very rough childhood, and then she gets married off to this really older man, and that man is just, oh my god, I have some hatred towards this character Rashid, who is the husband of Mariam, and I hate him so much. Like, if this was a real life person, I probably would have killed him. And then like 15 or 20 years later, this Rashid guy marries another woman called Laila, and she's like very young. She's probably 16 or 20 or something at that time, and Mariam is like 40, and these two wives develop an amazing friendship amongst each other. And oh my god, Mariam deserved so much better in her life. She just went from pain to pain to pain to pain, and oh my god, she deserves so much better. This book is also really amazing. And very recently, like literally 2 days back, I finished reading this book, Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. Oh my god, this is such a cute book. I really like it. I heard that there is a Japanese movie about this book, and it's called Morisaki Shoten no Hibi. It's based on this book, and ever since I started reading this book, I kept telling people like this book would be such a good Studio Ghibli movie. Like, it has such a nice graphic description of your environment and the weather and the trees and the bookstores. Like, it's visually very pleasing. Like, if this was a Studio Ghibli movie or like or any animated movie, it would be really amazing. But yeah, it's a very easy to read book. As you can see, it's very small, writing is very easy, because obviously it's a translated book, it's not in the original writing, obviously. So it's very easy to read, very small, you will finish it really quickly. I took a little bit more time because I had Durga Puja going on, and I didn't read for like 10 days straight. but yeah, it's very easy to read, very cozy. It's about this woman who gets out of this really toxic relationship, and then to start her new life, she quits her job also, and then goes to live with her uncle who owns the Morisaki bookshop. And it's in this street where all the second-hand bookshops are situated, and she has this life in there. It's about new beginnings, it's about relationship in families, love, everything, love for books. So yeah, I suggest this book. I really liked it. So, and since this is like very recent read, so it's like fresh in my brain, so I'm going to give this a more biased rating of 5 out of 5, but maybe after a few months it might come down to a 4, but not below that, because it's a really cute book. So I started with It Ends With Us because the most trendy book it was at the time. So, and then the movie was also coming. I read this before the movie, way before the movie. So yeah, I got this book from a friend, so I just read it. Is this like the best writing ever? No. But was I hooked from like the first chapter? Yes. It's such a gripping book. Colin Hoover knows how to make you read, and to not make you stop at any chapter. You'll be like, oh my god, what happens next, what happens next. So the movie is out, and I'm pretty sure most people have already watched it. But it's about this woman who is like 25 years old or something like that, comes from her father's funeral, meets this guy at this attic. The guy is like 10 years older to her or something, is a neurosurgeon, and it's like love at first sight, I would say. They keep meeting circumstantially, and then they fall in love. It's like passion, romance, and like fireworks. The main character owns a flower shop with the main character, the guy character's sister, and then they get married, and then stuff starts to happen. The guy turns out to be this abusive person. And there's also a backstory, like this woman, when she was young, when she was like a teenager, she had this really strong and romantic relationship with this homeless guy, and the homeless guy, oh my god, Atlas has my heart. I love him. So you can watch the movie or you can read the book, but the movie is almost a ditto copy of the book, I would say. It's not like they didn't even change the dialogues for the most part. So yeah, it's not I don't think the people liked the movie as much because they didn't like Blake Lively in it, because Blake Lively was not the age person who should be in this main, because Lily is someone who is supposed to be 24-25-year-old, and Blake Lively is not. Then this year I also read this book called Normal People by Sally Rooney. Sally Rooney has a very unique writing style, and her stories are also very different, I would say. I was also reading the book called Intermezzo, which I stopped reading because that was a little bit too difficult writing, and I'm just not in the mood to read a very difficult book right now, which is why I started reading this book, which is like super easy, super fun, super cozy. Like it takes you no brain power to read this book, but the Intermezzo was taking a lot of brain power to read. But yeah, Normal People, it's a good story. It's about these two very messy teenagers love, but not your very typical teenage love. It does talk about a lot of mental health related issue, and you get to see that the characters in the end doesn't have a very character growth. There isn't a much of a growth. Like they go from the teenage years to their young adult, like 21, but it's not like they matured a lot. They still have those insecurities, codependency, and messiness that they have had since the beginning of the book. So it kind of shows you like sometimes in life you just don't grow and mature as much as you think you will, because maybe sometimes the people that you're with, they are not the right people for you, and that's why you are not able to grow. And I just think the two main characters, they are just not meant to be together. They are just not meant to be friends. They're just not meant to be in contact with each other. Refreshingly enough, I read this book called People We Meet on Vacation right before I read Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, and I love this book. I absolutely love this book. I love the trope of friends to lovers. Just amazing. It's one of those books where it's about summer vacation. It's about these two friends who meet in college, and then they decide to go on trips every summer. no matter where they are in their lives, in the country, in USA, and they always meet for summer and they go on a trip. So they have been doing that for 10 summers in a row, and then on the 10th summer stuff happens between them and they lose contact and they just don't talk to each other. And then like 1 year later, the woman is trying to get back in touch with the guy and trying to repair that damaged friendship, because that friendship was everything that was there. That was that this friend the friendship that is spoken about in this book is so beautiful. Even if there wasn't any love aspect of it, I would still have adored the friendship. But yeah, you can read this book. It's a very refreshing, very easy to read book. It's so nice. I have not read a good romantic book like this in such a long time. That's because I have not read romantic books either. But yeah, I really like Emily Henry's writing. It's very nice. Right now I'm reading this book called Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I'll let you know how I like that book. But yeah, that's all for my book review. If you'd like to see another book review, I have a lot of books. I'll do some of the older books that I've read. I have a lot of non-fiction also, like those self-help kind of books. So I can do like a video on just the self-help book part. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see something like that, and I'll see you in my next week's video. And do like and subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you all later. Bye.